My name is Maureen Graham. I'm the Product Program and Finance Specialist in Region 1 in the Lakes and Pines Council. And we are doing a mini finance training. We're focusing just on the Troop Financial Report tonight. With our great Zoom here, we get about a 30 minutes or so meeting before they cut us off. Since it's free. So we're just focusing on that. In the Lakes and Pines Council, our form is due June 15th. This would be due to your community coordinator, your troop, your service unit manager, or your service unit treasurer by June 15th. Some of your people may have you turn it in a little bit earlier. That gives them a chance to be an extra set of eyes and check it over before they turn it in to us at the council. If you do not know who to send it to, you can always send it to your product program and finance specialist, or you can send it directly to customer care and they'll make sure that it gets to the right specialist. So June 15th, even though we have COVID-19, that doesn't really change doing the form, because it really is just a picture of where your troop is at financially. So it doesn't matter as long as it's the same time every year as when we have it. So we're going to go ahead with that date at this point. So I don't expect that to change. So it doesn't really matter about that. So we're also going to talk tonight a little bit about how you can involve your girls. This is part of their financial literacy, so it's important for them to learn how to take care of their own money, as all of you are the stewards of their money, and making sure that it's safe and secure for them to use and have fun and do all the cool things that Girl Scouts love to do. So let's see. So I'm going to go to our page as soon as I find it. Nope. Let's see. I think it's going to take me here. No. I have not done this more than one time because Tiffany and I went through it earlier today.
And it worked so well earlier
today.
And
it worked fantastic. Let's see. That is not the page that I want. Nope, not that page either. Hang on. All right, there. Okay. So this is where you can find our Troop Financial Report form. This is the Lakes and Pines page. You go to Forms.
Maureen?
Yes?
We're not on forms. We're on understanding financial abilities by level.
What the heck? Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I thought I was there. Okay. Okay. Now are we here? No.
Oh, wait. Now we're in forms.
Okay. Well, I was just trying to show, can you see this page?
Yes.
The Lakes and Pines page? Yes. Okay. So you would click on Forms, and it would take you to our Forms drive. Okay. And then you would choose Troop Forms, and then Finance. And here we have two options. We have this one, which is our form in a writable document. So what you would do is you would do a file save as of this form to your computer. And then once you have it on your computer, then you would be able to use this whole thing and fill out all the spaces in here. And when you get to the second page and you put all your information in, which we'll go through in a minute, it will do all the math for you. Okay, so then it's simple as that. And then if you wanted to, whoops, trying to find it here. Okay, so then if The other option would be this PDF form. Can you see that one? Yes?
No, I think you stopped your screen share. You have to do it
What?
again.
No,
Oh, for heaven's sake. This, okay, we should have practiced this a little bit more, Tiffany.
But it worked so well.
I know. I know.
It's
It
so
did.
this
I
morning.
swear it did, but now I got to find out where you guys are. And
it's Murphy's Law.
oh my gosh, of course it is. Okay, here we go. You can see that one, right?
Yes. Now
Okay.
we're at the annual financial report.
All right, this
Yeah.
is the second option, which is the PDF form. Now I'm really gonna lose you guys. We're gonna go over to Badgerland very quickly. We'll see if that works. Okay, can you see that? Badgerland?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Okay, so Badgerland is very similar. So in order to find your form, you go to Forms, and then you choose your TFAR, Troop Finance and Activity Report. And it's a little different than ours, but it has the same basic information that's required to turn in. And then your financial stuff is just one line here, but you still have to do all the math as we have on our other page. And then your detail is down here, but it's not a financial detail like what we have. So it's a little bit different. So not to confuse people too much, except that I just lost my other page. Okay, so this is our annual troop financial report. Usually it's filled out by the troop leader, or the troop treasurer will fill it out. It tells you right on the top who you can turn it into. And again, if you don't know who, you can send it to us at customer care or send it to your product program and finance specialist. Okay. Our form requires, it's a little different than Badgerland. I think Badgerland requires a full year of bank statements. Ours requires quarterly. So we would like to see August, November, February, and May bank statements and a copy of your checkbook register. Now I know a lot of troops don't keep checkbook registers. It seems like people are relying more on just whatever the bank sends you. We need to see the bank statements, but we also need to see some kind of register from you, whether it's a checkbook register or if it is a register that you keep in a spreadsheet on your computer. You could just print that out from whatever your last date was for your troop financial report. That's your starting date, your starting amount for this year, which we have down here on this form. Ending balance from last year's report. And then we would like to see everything through probably, it depends on when you end your year. For the report, it could be May. Some troops may get an earlier statement. It just depends usually. And especially this year, you probably want to take your May bank statement. So you could prepare everything
Okay,
now.
I have a question.
Then. Sure.
My troop has never received our bank statements. They've always gone straight to Waite Park.
Okay.
I mean, this is only our second year as a troop. And last year I was the O2 and the O1 did all this, and now I'm the O1, and yeah, so this is my first time. And
okay. So do you have access to online bank statements from your bank?
Probably. I mean, I've never set it up. But I mean,
you could get those. Otherwise, you could see what community are you from?
Elbow Lake.
Elbow Lake. Okay, so they would go to Jess. So you could ask, she's your specialist. So you could ask her for whatever copy she's received then, because they would go to her.
Okay.
Maureen, we've got a question from the chat. Has the form changed from previous years?
It has changed a little bit. We'd like you to try to use the current one. We still have some troops in some outlying areas. I don't know why, but they're sending us forms that were out in like 2002 just because they had a bunch printed out and they think they want to use those. So if you could use one of the more recent forms, we do try to update a little bit every year. This is pretty close to last year's form though. I think from the bottom, we reviewed it in August last year and made a few changes to it. It's going to be really pretty close. Okay. So just filling out all of these regular things that we ask, the names of the people authorized to make withdrawals, and what we do with this information is we verify it against what you have sent into us in the past. Sometimes troops forget that they need to check with the council before they add a new signer to the account. We need to know that so we can send an updated corporate resolution to the bank, letting the bank know who the allowed signers are. And when you make that request, we don't really have a problem that you're changing signers or anything. We just want to make sure that the person is a registered member of Girl Scouts, that's an adult, and also that they've passed a background check, because only Girl Scouts who passed a background check are allowed to be on the report or on the bank account. So any questions about that? Okay, I did want to just say one more time about the register. If you're not used to keeping one, I would start one soon, because we do want to see that. When we get these, we don't just go, oh good, this troop number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has turned in their annual report and we just check it off the list. We don't. We actually sit down, we verify the information, making sure that everything is accurate as far as like the account number and the bank information, the people that are the signers. We check, I know for myself, I check the ending balance and make sure that it matches whatever your, or your last bank statement, trying to see if, if your ending balance is for something in the checkbook a little later, trying to find that balance and seeing where it matches in your register and also the bank account. And then in this section, if balance is more than $200, please explain here what the balance will be used for within 12 months. It doesn't mean you can't have more than $200 in your account, and this year a lot of troops will, because you might not be taking these trips or doing these things that you've been planning for a while, so you're likely to hang on to that money for a bit. And we just want to make sure that you're not just piling up the money and not doing any fun things with the girls. It's not like we're being super nosy. We just want to make sure that girls get to do fun things. So we just kind of want to know, and it gives us an idea of some of the fun stuff that girls get to do also. So any questions about that section? Okay. Then here's where you would put your outstanding checks and deposits. It's just like balancing your checkbook. And then here is where you would put income and expenses. And if you're using that writable document, the balance will keep a running total here. So then you don't have to do that math. So for fall product, you might have a couple of deposits you would put in as income. And then your expense would be the ACH debit that the council would, where we would take the funds out to pay for the fall product stuff. So we've got several different categories here. And so when you do your checkbook register, I know that some who keep a spreadsheet like to have it go right into those different columns. So then it's easy when it comes time to do the troop financial report to just plug those numbers right in. So membership, you might have income for membership. If, say, for example, you have parents paying the money to the troop or part of the membership funds to the troop. And then the expense would be when you pay for the girls' memberships. So same all the way down, we've got the troop sponsorship if you have somebody sponsoring your troop, troop dues, meeting supplies, insignia like pins and badges and things like that, or books. And then we gave several rows for cookies that you can put in there. A troop bonus, if your troop earned it, can go in here. A troop money earning project, if your troop did one of those. Events, field trips, we've got a couple of blank lines. You can fill in your own stuff, and camping with your troop. Okay, and then whoever signs it just fills this part out, or if you're doing it electronically, you can just type that in there. And then you would send that off to us with those 4 bank statements and your checkbook register. So any questions about that before we go to the part about what the girls can do? Is there anything in the chat, Tiffany? Nope. Okay, now.
Nothing in the chat.
All right, so now I think I have to choose this new one, new share, I hope. Here we go. Okay, can you see that now? Understanding?
No. Oh, yes, now we can.
Okay, good. It just, there's like a lag or something. Okay, so this comes from the full finance training. So if you've done that before, you should have received that, this in your packet. I think it's on page 4. But understanding financial abilities by level. I really love this because this talks so much about the financial literacy of our girls and the things that they can learn at different ages. So with the daisies, of course, they don't do very much with their finances, but they should know about it, that it's theirs and that you're helping them. And I always recommend that at every troop meeting that you get the checkbook out and the bank statements, and let the families know what's in there, because the money does belong to all the girls. Of course, whoever the 2 signers are should be sharing the information together, and like one should hold the checkbook and the other one should get the bank statements, so that there's accountability in the troop, and everything is open to everyone to find out how the money is being spent and such. So the group volunteer handles the money and keeps the records, and all the group budgeting. Some of the parents and guardians can help make decisions. Of course, girls participate in the cookie program. And as you know, since we just did it, daisies could be paired with an adult when selling anything, because they're pretty little. And they can start learning how to do the ask and take money and such. So brownies get to do a little bit more. I think brownies was more the age when my daughter was that little, where they got to, they were given a couple of options for how to spend their money, and then they got to put their heads down and cover their eyes, and then they got to raise their hand when they decided that's the one thing that they really wanted to do. So they got to take their secret votes to do things with their money, and that was kind of fun to see. So they can set goals and discuss how much activities cost. They may decide to pay dues. I know some troops charge a nominal amount for each meeting, like $1. And, that's a little way to keep a little money in the pot when a troop is getting started. But it's really up to each troop to make that decision. Then when they're juniors, they start taking a lot more responsibility for long-term budgeting and record keeping. So they can start at that age to, like if you have a checkbook register, they can learn where to put the different amounts, and they can write those in for you. They can, of course, continue setting goals. And again, group dues, they might have they might record those dues in the checkbook register. Budgeting, again, is a big part of it for long-term and short-term activities, and then also for any take action projects that the troop wants to do, and like it says there, for the bronze award, if that's something that the troop is going to pursue. When the girls are older, they can do a lot more. Estimating costs based on plans. I know when my daughter was that age, they would sit down and actually they each had a laptop and they sat down and they figured out how much different activities that they were interested in were going to cost, and then trying to decide if we had enough money to do those things. So setting goals, what they were going to participate in for different projects and programs, all the budgeting, the planning, and any additional money earning projects. They could fill out all those forms, budgeting for extended travel, again, take action projects, other leadership projects. They might be involved in seeking donations for take action projects if they have council approval, keeping their own financial records. And honestly, the last 3 years that my daughter was in Girl Scouts, she just graduated out last year, they did the true financial report themselves. And then we checked it over before sending it off. So that's something, that's a goal, right, for you guys, to have the girls do the true financial report, and then you don't have to. So I thought that was great.
Maureen, we have a question from the chat. Should we
All right.
save receipts for the financial report?
Yes, you should save the receipts. The council does not need to see those unless you are being audited. You should keep all of your financial documents for 7 years. If your troop is ending and it's not, the 7 years aren't over, you can pass those off to your service unit manager or treasurer, or you can pass those off to the council, and then we'll hold those until, if you don't want to, we'll hold them for you until it's time for disposal. And also, while we're talking about that, I just would say all of your product program receipts and those sorts of things, you know, like permission forms that you have, and all those things should be kept for 3 years. So please don't throw those away right after the cookie sale is ended, and sometimes we need to see those. So the same with the financial stuff. You can keep the receipts. We don't need to see it unless we have a question. And we try not to do audits very often, but it does happen. But we'll need to see any kind of financial stuff that you have, your copies of things, bank statements, and stuff if we didn't get those already. So, all right, it said this free meeting will end in 10 minutes.
So we have 10 minutes left.
Yep, so are there any questions? And this is just a small part of the financial training that we do. So that interests you, we can do another chunk of it another time on a free Zoom, or we can, we'll do another full one. That usually is an hour and a half long.
And the documents that we used will be sent out in an email. If the video works out, we'll include the link on that too. Okay.
All right. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight, and thanks for the thumbs up there. And I hope it was informational and helpful to you, and I hope you're able to help your girls with their financial literacy. And happy putting your true financial report together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Maureen, when you close out, it's going to say like converting, or do you want to convert? And the answer is yes, and it takes a long time. So,
okay. So do I just leave it up then until?
Just leave it up, and it's creating the recording file.
Okay. I'm
sorry, I didn't realize that it would not let me do that, and then you can.
Okay, stop. No.
No, we have to end the meeting first.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Call me if you have problems.
I will. All
All
right.
right.
Bye.